This app is called ExamExempt. Perhaps your school or your district allows students to skip semester exams if certain criteria are met. I just browsed the internet and found this exam exemption policy as an example. If you want to, you can make this app customized to your own school. This school says students must maintain at least an 80 semester grade to be eligible for a semester examination exemption in a class and have no more than the number of excused absences specified below. So if your grade in a class is 80 to 84, you can be exempt from the exam if you have 0 absences this semester. Grades of 85 to 89, not more than 1 absence, you can read the chart. So let's make this app. We need to ask the user essentially how many absences they've had and what their grade is. So we can do that in a couple different ways. I think a text box would be a good way to allow the user to type in their number of absences. I'm sorry, not their number of absences, but their grade in a course. We can set the hint to say semester average. If we check this box for numbers only, that means that the person typing a value in that box can only type numbers. So if they type anything, the only symbol it's going to take is that minus sign, which is a negative. So my semester average might be an 80. Okay, well now what? Let's look at a different kind of input. Let's do a thing called a list picker. A list picker lets you choose items from a list. So I'm going to make this, instead of saying the text of it being text for list picker 1, I'm going to change the text of this and say days absent. Now the way a list picker works is when you click it, it gives you a list of things to choose from. You choose one, and then you go back. Well, we don't have any things to choose from, but I can make elements from a string. I can say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 plus. So I think that should now allow me, when I click that list picker, to see the number of days absent 0 through 10, 10 plus. I'm not sure about that plus. Later we're going to be doing something with comparing numbers. I think I'm going to take that plus back off and leave these as just numbers. So this gives me the grade, this gives me the days absent, and I need a way or a label, a place to show whether you're exempt or not. So I guess I just want a label. And I'm going to change the size of that to, I don't know, I guess a good 33-point font, and that'll make this text pretty big. And I'm going to change this to no text right now, and we can change label 1 later once we determine whether they are or are not exempt. So let's look at the blocks. The way we're going to determine when to calculate is after they pick their number of absences. So after list picker 1 is picked, then we can see their selection. Right there, their selection. That's going to be their number of days absent. And text box 1's text is going to be their grade. So these are really kind of this picker and text box. Let's go back to our designer. Let's name these things. Let's rename. Text box 1 is going to be semester grade, and our list picker 1 is going to be our days absent. And now if I look back in the blocks, this kind of makes a little more sense. The days absent selection and the semester grades text. So by naming our components properly, we can make a lot more sense of them when we start doing math. So what is our exemption policy? If we have a grade from 80 to 84 and no absences during the semester. So we can do logic using an if, which is an and. So if it's this and this. So math, we have comparison. If the days absent is equal to 0, so we have no absences, and we can do a comparison for our semester grade. So for our semester grade is really, it's if we have no absences and the grade is 80 or greater. Greater than 80. Then we can do some stuff. So under control, we have if then. We have if this turns out to be true, if the days absent is equal to 0 and the semester test is greater than 80. Greater? Let's do greater than equal to. I think that's actually what we wanted. 82. Yeah, 80 and up. Then we want to set our label and set its text to the word exempt. So let's try that out. Let's say that I have an 88 and I've been absent no days. I'm exempt. If I have an 88 and I've been absent 1 day, we need something that's an else. So an else in here, well then we can set the thing to not exempt. So now this says if all of this turns out to be true, if my number of days absent is equal to 0 and my semester grade is greater than or equal to 80, then I set the thing to exempt. Otherwise, I set it to not exempt. So if I have an 88 and I've been absent 1 time, not exempt. Been absent 0 times, exempt. Well, that works for the absences being 0. So for grades of 85 to 89, so if grades are 85 and up, then I can have 1 or 0. So we can drag in an else if here. So if our days absent is equal to 0 and our semester grade is greater than or equal to 80, then we're exempt. Else, and let's duplicate this thing. Else, if my days absent is equal to 1 and my semester grade is 85 or greater, let's say less than or equal to 1. If my days absent is less than or equal to 1 and my semester grade is greater than or equal to 85, then I'm exempt. So, still have to put my exempt here. So if I have an 88 and I'm absent 1 day, I'm exempt. If I'm 88 and I'm absent 0 days, I'm exempt. If I'm absent 2 days, not exempt. So this if then else structure climbs down the ladder and asks the question, is this true? If so, then do this. Otherwise, is this true? If so, then do this. And it gets all the way down to the bottom, and then there's an otherwise. And you can keep adding your else ifs by just hitting the gear and plugging in some more else ifs. So let's build this thing on up. So if my absence is 2 or fewer, then I need to have a grade of 90. 2. Then I must have a grade of at least 90. If my absences are not more than 3, so 3 or less, then I can have a minimum grade of 95. And of course I must duplicate my exempt status and plug that there. Now, if we look at our emulator, and let's put our emulator on top of our policy and try some things out. So if I have a grade of 81 and I have no absences, I should be exempt. If I have a grade of 81 and I have 2 absences, I should not be exempt. If I have a grade of 87 and I have no absences, I should be exempt. If I have 1 absence, I should still be exempt. If I have 2 absences, I should be not exempt. And that works out. Okay, so what about a grade of 90? 90 and 4 absences, not exempt. 90 and 3 absences, not exempt. So 90, no more than 2. So 2 should do me. And there we go, exempt. So we've tested out for 90. What about 95? Not more than 3. So 4 is more than 3, so that should be not. And then 3 is not more than 3, so that should be exempt. All the way down to 0 absences probably. Great. So there we go. That is our basic exemption app. It's really ugly. It could be dressed up by changing some of the properties of the design in the design view. You can add some more labels to explain the policy. A lot of things you can do to this. You can also add, most of these policies at your school will have other things that if you have unexcused absences or if you've been suspended from school. This one even has something about students in periods 1, 3, 5, and 7 can be exempt for the first semester, and 2, 4, and 6 can be exempt at the end of the second semester. So these policies tend to be a little bit more complicated, and you can add as much complexity to this as you want. One of my pet peeves is seeing the word screen 1 on anything, so you should really always change out the title of your screen 1 to be something that relates to the app, like the title of it. There we go.